So to get started, at the top of the screen we have our menu bar. The menu bar is where we can find pretty much everything inside of Maya, from tools to options to editing to advanced tools. We can find everything within this menu bar. If we move below that menu bar though, however, we see the shelf. The shelf is actually used to interact with the menu bar, but it looks a little bit different. So the reason why it looks different is most people don't want to climb through the menu bar. So what they actually do is they store the icons on these shelves that we see here in order to quickly interact with the tool that they're looking for. We don't store all the tools on here, we just store the ones that we use most commonly. Below that we have the viewport. The viewport is actually where we move around and we interact with our 3D scene. We can animate and change things within the scene, and this is how we actually produce what we're trying to create. To the right of that we have the attribute editor and the channel box editor. These two things are used for interacting with objects and making connections with objects. Below we have the timeline. The timeline is where we can actually create animation, drop keyframes, and we can even import sound in order to animate the voice. Now I want to talk about camera controls. So the way we do this, or the way we move around inside the viewport, is we hold Alt. And then the rest of it is with your mouse. So while holding Alt, if I hold left click on the mouse, I can orbit. If I middle mouse click, I can pan or drag, or whatever you want to call it, left to right, right to left, truck, pan. And the last thing is I can move front to back. This is not a zoom. This is actually moving the camera forward to back. There's a different option inside the camera to actually zoom. So what is that again? In order to move, we hold Alt, left click to orbit, middle mouse click to drag, and right click to move in and out. The next thing I want to discuss is manipulators. In order to do this, I actually have to put an object in the scene. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. As we can see, I've dropped an object within the scene. If I want to actually manipulate this object or move it around in 3D space, I can't do that with my camera controls. All I'm actually doing is moving the camera. So in order to move this object, what I have to do is I have to use my manipulators. There's two ways to find the manipulators. One is to know the shortcuts. The other way is to know the on-screen shortcuts. As we can see over here on the left, we have the selection tool. This is the first main manipulator. If I hit Q, I also get the selection tool. The other manipulators are W for the move tool, E for the rotate tool, and R for the scale tool. I'll go ahead and show you those now. If I want to actually select an object, all I have to do is select it with my selection. If I hit W, I now have my move tool. I can move the object forward to back, side to side, and up and down. If I want to rotate my object, all I have to do is select E on the keyboard. If I would prefer, I can actually select it over here as well. Also, if I want to scale my object, I can do that by pressing R on the keyboard. Or again, I can select it over here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.